Welcome to Will Podcast for Laughs. On this milestone 25th episode, we chat with our guest, V's sister Laura. We chat about Stanford, places Laura's been, and V and Laura's Kardashian family childhood. It's all today on Will Podcast for Laughs.
Welcome to Will Podcast for Laughs with V,
Ian,
and Taylor. Hey!
We made it to Friday.
Made it to Friday.
Okay.
Made it for Friday, and we haven't even got to Thursday yet.
No.
If that makes any sense.
We're barely making it to Friday.
We'll be alright. So
remember a couple weeks ago when you were like, man, it feels like, I can't believe we're already 2 weeks in. It feels like it's only been a few hours.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like it's been 2 weeks. Yeah, no, it feels like it's been
it feels like it's been 2 weeks today. Okay, so today, in honor of Fridays, we're doing guests now, like we told you guys last Friday. So today's guest.
Hold on. What's her name again? It's Laura.
Laura.
Right? So it's L followed by Aura.
Yeah. Oh, yes, because last week was D, last name Evan. D. Evan. Now it's
L
Aura.
Aura.
L. Aura.
Actually, that sounds like a cool name. Like, oh, my name is Aura.
Shut up, Taylor. Okay, so today's guest is one of my sisters. This is Laura. Laura, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Laura.
So Laura is...
Don't worry, this is a safe space.
Yes, welcome. Laura is one of my older sisters, so she's got tons of wisdom. She's had a pretty cool life, and so we thought it'd be kind of cool to bring her on, talk to her a little bit about her journeys and the things that she's done, because you moved out when you were, what, 18?
Mm-hmm.
Leo left for college, right?
Yep, left at 18.
And you went to Stanford. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I know. Let's just all take a minute and go,
Ooh.
yeah.
Ah.
And then you didn't really come back since. You came back for like a season, but not very long.
Wow, 13 episodes. Good job.
So you've been like pretty much on your own since you were 18.
Pretty much, although college is very sheltered.
Right.
In terms of being on my own. But yeah.
Right.
I moved back for 3 months after graduation and then packed up 2 suitcases and moved to DC, knowing only a few people. And I had set up housing through Craigslist and hadn't met any of the individuals. And my parents just let me fly off to the East Coast with no knowledge of who I was going to live with or what I would be doing.
And like we don't have connections on the East Coast, like family-wise. No. So you were really like out there all by yourself.
Correct. Just my friends.
Which is crazy to do at like, what, 20-something?
21.
That's nuts. So that's crazy. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about that today, because since then you've lived where? You've lived Washington, D.C., then where?
Well, I came back to Vegas for a little bit. That little quarter life crisis, if you will.
Yes.
So I was back in Vegas for a year, but I wasn't living at home. Lived with the other sister.
Yes.
Well, one of the other sisters. And then Denver, Seattle, and now Chicago.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and those are pretty big cities.
Yeah.
Those are like very... Like, and I know we talk a lot about like the things that you do in each city. She's a huge fan of what's it called, the L train, the A train, the B train.
The L.
Yes.
In Chicago. I'm a big fan of public transportation.
Yes. So when she was coming here, she was like, how am I going to get home from the airport? And I was like, Uber. She's like, why is there no L train? I was like, we don't have, she was like, I use buses. Like, I can send you the bus schedule. Like,
yeah,
it's not very comforting.
No.
But, and then Ian is, you're from San Francisco.
Well, I'm from by San Francisco, yeah.
Right? So you're like familiar with that area as well. And then Taylor, where are you from originally? Branson?
the equivalent. Fallon, Nevada.
Fallon, Nevada.
Okay.
And there's
Fallon, Nevada, isn't that where Harry Reid's from? No?
No.
Did I make that? Oh, he's from Searchlight.
No, but
no idea where those places are.
Fallon's
Searchlight.
famous.
Who's from Searchlight?
Fallon's famous for 2 things: Top Gun and cancer.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, because we had a bunch of mercury in our water supply in the 80s, and it was
Yeah.
a big, like, kids were getting cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's terrible.
Welcome to Fallon.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have Cantaloupe, the Heart of Gold Cantaloupe Festival, every August. Sorry?
I thought it's meth.
Oh, yeah, and we're also really known for our meth houses.
Okay.
Like, we hear the
Most
fire...
of that part of Nevada and into Arizona is known for that. But,
Oh
you know.
my gosh. Well, that sounds awesome. I'm going to put it on the top of my vacation list.
Yeah, top 10 places to go.
Check it
Branson,
out.
Missouri,
Yeah.
and Fallon, Nevada.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did have a regional transportation service, but
Yeah.
we did not have any subways or major bus lines.
No.
And the transportation services was more just to get the old people around.
Yeah, like my sister. The old people.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm really interested in, like, when you relocate, like, when you go from anywhere, from Denver to Seattle, from Seattle to Chicago, you have always driven, you and Brandon.
Yes.
Right? Your boyfriend of how long? Forever?
6.5 years.
Okay,
Just
plus or minus?
plus or minus.
Yeah, okay. And so, but you guys, like, pack up everything, and you've got a dog, you've got a cat, so you literally just, like, throw everything in the car, and you, like, do you guys find a place to live first? Do you find jobs first? Do you just go? Like, how does that whole thing work?
So Seattle we packed up everything and we were essentially homeless when we left Denver because we did not have a place to live in Seattle, nor did either of us have jobs.
Did you know anybody there, though, that you could stay with?
We knew a few friends, but because we have a dog and a cat, we didn't want to impose on people, and also a lot of our friends have kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we basically just went not having a plan of where we were going to live.
That's
Or
crazy.
work.
That's not, see, that's
But
not,
it was a bucket list item.
Yeah.
right, okay. And so you did it, and then you guys found work, obviously, and you found a place to live and all that, and
Yeah.
but you were only in Seattle for how long?
2 years.
2 years, okay. And then same thing when you went to Chicago, or you guys had stuff set up in Chicago?
So for Chicago, we flew out the month before to find housing, and I actually took my job from Seattle with me to Chicago because when I told them I was moving, they gave me the option to take it with me and work remotely.
Okay.
That's what.
That
That was the best moving situation. If you can
Yeah.
take a job with you
Yeah.
when you move,
Definitely.
that's ideal.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Another question I had for you was when you're relocating and you're very outgoing like me. We're very good at like making friends externally. But my question is, how do you find places to go in the city? Like, are you a Yelper?
You Yelp.
No.
I hate Yelper, the Yelping community, you know.
I use
they're-
Yelp sometimes.
But they're so aggressive.
They are. I don't like review places on Yelp. I don't go that far, but I will use it to look at other people's reviews.
But it's like, how do you find, like, you know, things to do, places to go, meet people?
Yeah, there are a lot of articles out there. Like we look at local publications. So like in Chicago, we'll look at the Chicago Tribune and there'll be different articles of like, you know, things to do this, you know, summer, what to do around the city. A lot of cities will also have specific locally ran publications. So in Chicago, it's the Do 312, which 312 is one of the area codes. And so that website has everything from summer festivals to food festivals to what to do when the snow won't stop and you want to do something that is outside of your house but not necessarily outdoors. So we utilize a lot of those articles to kind of find different things around the city.
Definitely.
And also what to do around the city that's free, which is really nice.
Yeah, you're very good at that. When I went to visit her in Seattle, I was like, I have no money because I was like between jobs at the time. And she was like, oh, don't worry, I found 50 things for free. And I was like, what? And she's
Seattle,
like, they're doing
nice.
this, they're doing that, they're doing this. And I was
You
like,
gotta give us this list.
I know. She's really good at that. I don't know how she's really good at finding things and sending links and then setting up like, but that's part of like your job too. You like event coordinate /
Yeah,
plan
so I've
stuff.
done event planning. So in Seattle, I was really plugged into what was going on in the community because I worked at Pike Place Market. So we'd always get a lot of folks asking us like, what can we do after our event? And so I always like to know what was going on around that weekend so I could tell people like, go do this or avoid this place.
So what would you say has been your favorite place to live so far?
Ooh. You know, I love Chicago, but I have been really missing and loving Denver lately.
Yeah?
Like thinking about it. Yeah.
But you
Denver I
guys
thought was
weren't
great.
like snow people in Denver.
No.
You didn't do anything like in the snow out there.
No, the traffic to get up to the mountains was really annoying.
Yeah.
So, and with our like work schedules, it was like hard to get up there.
Yeah.
No, but the weather's great. The people are awesome. It's really great to get to a lot of other like places outside of like, Colorado itself. So we really liked Denver. It comes down to the people, honestly. Like Denver has really great people. Chicago has really great people. Seattle, the Pacific Northwest is special. Yeah, not a huge fan.
Okay, all right.
Uh,
I feel like one of the questions our listeners might want to know, and you guys can tell me, because to me it's just normal, but like when I tell people she went to Stanford, they like freak out and they're like, what? So I like, most people aren't going to make it there. Let's be real. So what are some of like the pros and cons of you loved Stanford.
I did.
You loved it, right? Like that was, so what are some of those pros and cons with like going to an elite college like that?
I would say one of the biggest pros is every city that I've moved to, I've been able to plug into my alumni network and get really involved and make connections and friends and kind of get to know the city through other people from that network.
That's awesome.
So big plus. So relocation advice, if you have a network of alums from a school that you went to or just organizations that you're a part of, find a local chapter, local folks that are involved with that stuff that you're interested in. It's a really good way to meet people. And then what was the other question? The cons?
Yeah. Like, was it
There are
hard?
no cons.
There was cons. Because I feel like, like, is it worth the title of Stanford?
So I think a con would be the assumptions people make about what a person who attends an institution like that is like. Okay. So, for example, my boyfriend did not go to Stanford, but when he meets a lot of our Stanford friends, he was like, oh, they're normal. I'm like, yeah, we're normal people. We're not like on this like weird little like pedestal or anything out of the ordinary. So it's really interesting to hear other people like when they interact with the friends that I have, they're like, oh yeah, they're just like us. I don't see it as anything different,
Stanford students, they're just like us.
Normal.
They're revealing expose.
One of us. Well, I mean, like, you guys, they're smart. Like, they're smart people. But I think, like, you're right. Like, we think, like, oh, they all just, like, stay in their rooms and they read their books and they don't do anything. And they're socially
16
awkward.
weeks at a time.
Yeah, and they've been, like, but they're not.
And they develop the Facebook.
Yeah, and they developed the Facebook. Which, did that cover? That didn't cover Stanford. Did it cover Stanford?
Was Mark Zuckerberg
Stanford?
Came from Harvard.
Harvard.
Instagram came from a guy I went to school with in my class year.
Oh.
All right.
Hit him up. Be like, hey.
Hey, Instagram guy.
Instagram guy.
What up? Hey, my current boyfriend.
Which makes me think, well, so for me, like, those are the type of people I went to school with, and I'm like, oh. And then, so I went to school with someone who created Instagram, and then there's me.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit because I didn't, obviously I'm not at a prestigious college at the moment, but I went to Bishop Gorman out here in Vegas, which is one of the highly, high schools. And so when we have our reunion, I remember last year, I had my reunion, and I called her, and I was like, this is so annoying. One of the girls from my class was like in Miss USA. Another one started a business. The other one is like Cashman Field. Like, these are the people I went to school with. They own Red Rock Casino. And she's like, okay, well, I went with doctors and lawyers and, like, people who are, like, fighting, like, cures for cancer. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. Sorry. Like, you're a little bit more prestigious than I am. But, yeah, and see, I think that's the thing. Like, you hear these big names and then people think that just that. Like, oh, you guys must be better than all of us.
What's really interesting, though, is I've talked to other friends, and it's not information that I offer up when I meet people. Yeah. Like, I almost avoid sometimes telling people I went there because of an assumption that might be made.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll say, oh, I went to school in the Bay. San Francisco, I went to school out there.
Do you think, like, employers really look at your resume as like, oh, wow, this is awesome, we should hire her? Or do you think sometimes maybe you're, like, overqualified for things, or what?
Well, seeing as I've been fired and laid off from jobs, I don't think it matters where you went to school.
Right.
Just like the situation from an employer. I hope that it helps me from time to time, but you just never know. Yeah. I really don't think, like, the further and further I get away from my graduation date, I really don't think it matters.
We were talking about that earlier. One of these days, we were talking about, what day was it? We were talking, the jobs, the unappreciative jobs. Mm-hmm. We were talking about, like, having a degree versus not having a degree and, like, the difference that makes when you're going to apply for jobs and stuff, and the pay and all of that. And so it definitely does matter, I think, but I think it boils down to, like, the work you put into it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, so that's what I would say. What do you got? Okay, so you guys don't know her at all. What would be your questions? I know everything.
So, a couple weeks ago, we had an episode where we talked about reality television shows. And I know we've just been talking about the prestigious Stanford and the places you've been. But tell us. She described her childhood as like the Kardashians, where it's just a bunch of fighting and stuff. So how would you describe your childhood with V?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a great question.
I was amazing.
I was constantly I was constantly on her neck. I hated her, and I only realized I liked her when she started the podcast.
Laura took care of us. Like, so there's 6 of us. She's third, which makes me fourth, and then we have 2 younger. So she was.
So you're the middles.
We're the middles.
We're the middles.
We are the
Yeah.
middles. Yes. And so she was very good at, like, my dad was in the military. My mom was always working. So I have memories, distinctive memories of Laura. Okay, when we get home, you guys are going to do your homework for an hour. Then we're going to go on and then you're going to get in the shower. Then I'm going to make dinner. Like, she was always, like, agendaing.
And move.
Yeah, go. And, like, I think one of the things, just from my perspective to you, is, like, having her as an older sister sometimes, it's like she always had a plan. She always had, like, something to, like, you know what I mean? And so I think my memories of you, like, so I have 3 older sisters. Angela, she used to have us do these stupid plays. These stupid plays that she would write, and they made no sense. Erica, my next sister, she's a finance major. She would have us play store, but she would, like, put stickers on the things of, like, the exact amounts. Like, it would be like $199 plus tax, and you had to figure it out. And she wouldn't let you leave unless you had the exact change. Like, it was crazy store. But Laura would play school with us because that was, like, one of her favorite things to do. And it'd be, like, legit books, like, from the teacher store. And you're like, okay, let's see the noun, the pronoun. Like, that was just, so we did a lot of
And you
interactive
didn't become a
games.
teacher?
No. No.
Because it's just like, so your finance manager or your finance major
Finance sister,
student,
yeah.
she was doing like the money thing, and
Yeah, she does. She works real estate now, though, which is kind of different. But yeah, Angela never got into plays. I don't know where that came from.
Well, you know what's funny is we were talking about this the other day. Is both Vanessa and I, like, Vanessa's worked a ton of different jobs and worked in a lot of different industries. I have as well. Like, I've worked in politics, I've worked in healthcare, I've worked in nonprofits, event planning, and now I work in tech. So I've kind of been all over the place and jumped a lot of jobs. So I don't know where we get it from. I just move around and change jobs, and you just change jobs
quit.
and exactly switch
Bye.
industries here.
I just quit. Yeah.
So something about
they almost killed
something
me a
about
couple
us, yeah.
times. Like,
oh yeah.
I got left behind a lot, you know. I almost
We really
died.
wanted to be. Rescue 911 was a favorite show.
So they tried to get me on the show.
We tried to, like, feed her hot dogs and
so that I
leave
would
her
choke,
alone.
you know, normal sister stuff, where they're just trying to get 911 on the phone. Or,
Is that not normal?
I mean, so her.
it's like it's not normal.
I only have a younger
It isn't
sister,
normal.
so it's like
Her and
it is in Canada.
her and Erica. So
It
we
is
were on a
Man
trip
dog
one
living in
time.
Canada.
We were on a trip one time. My dad and my mom were there. We wanted to go on, like, a hike to explore or whatever. There was, like, a river behind the hotel randomly.
Sure.
She knows the story. She's laughing already. So it was my dad. I don't know if Angela was there. I know Erica and Laura were there, and me. And I was the little one. But I was like, I want to go. So we're walking down this river, whatever. And I was a very plump child, okay? I've always been a little plump. So we're walking, whatever. We get to this, like, ravine. Okay, and so my dad's logic was, okay, Laura, Erica, grab your sister by her arms and her legs. You guys just swing her over, and it wasn't very far. The gap was probably, like, how many feet?
I don't know, maybe like 3 feet.
It wasn't very
how
far.
far down?
Maybe
It's
like
just-
10 or 15.
I'm just like
That's still pretty far.
Wile E. Coyote, like.
Because I couldn't jump it. I couldn't jump it, and so they were supposed to lightly toss me the other side to my dad, and so they picked me up, and I guess they just didn't realize I was as heavy as I was, and they dropped me, and I rolled down the bottom to the bottom of the creek and almost died because they dropped me down there. I remember that very distinctively. Thanks.
You're welcome.
It was a real life thing that happened. That's what
Sucks.
happens when you're the baby, though.
Dang.
You know? So those are our good time stories. We didn't really grow up together because when you moved out at 18, I would have been 13. So we didn't really have a lot of, like, older memories. We were all pretty spaced out.
Did you have any questions?
So
What's your experience in politics? What did you do?
So I worked for a senator in D.C. after college because I studied public policy.
Cool.
So I worked for Nevada senator for a year, and then I moved into lobbying
That's awesome.
after that. But yeah, so it's really interesting now seeing everything that's playing out in the political arena because I have some fond memories of being in DC, but would not want to be in DC right now.
Yeah.
'Cause I know
It seems pretty crazy right
The
now.
dumpster fire that is our government.
Yeah, pretty crazy
Yep.
right now.
Yeah.
What was your favorite job out of everything you had?
Ooh, I would say the nonprofit I worked for in Denver was really awesome.
That's cool.
I worked with different high schools and middle schools. I worked in the youth services program, and what that meant was I brought in volunteers from the community, and they came in and they talked to students about their careers, what they did, provided mentoring, coaching skills, job readiness as we called it. We did mock interviews, cover letter reviews, resume workshops, just everything to kind of help students. And so it was really fulfilling. So I really liked that. And I had a lot of flexibility with my schedule.
Nice.
Flexibility is key. She's a traveler like me, so she's
Yeah.
made a lot of friends all over the place. I feel like we have this in common. Like, where were we? We were in Arizona for my little sister's graduation. And randomly, her friend shows up in Arizona, and she's like, my friend's here. We're just going to hang out. And I'm like, that's one of the things, like, that would happen to me. And so we have that in common. Like, we travel a lot. We make a lot of friends all over the place. And then still stay in touch. Like, how many weddings, if you had to guess, how many weddings have you been to?
I've never been to a wedding in the city that I live in. I've
That's
always
ridiculous.
had to travel for
But-
every wedding. I don't know, a dozen or so. I haven't been to many as you have because
Well, yeah,
I
some
can't travel
I've
for
been
them all.
born and raised here and staying here. Like, it's a lot of weddings. Like, Devin and I did 6 weddings in 1 year. It was
God.
ridiculous.
That's nuts.
I know. We're
I've been to like 2 in my whole life.
really?
Like, yeah.
I've been in 2. Devin's been in 3. And then we've been invited to like 7 or 8 more than that.
2 for me.
Including
three?
my own, I've been to 3.
Okay.
I
But
have
you
my-
guys
my
are
aunts,
younger than us,
My
too.
best friends, and then my own.
It'll happen. Wait till you hit like your late 20s or everyone starts getting married and having kids.
I also started saying no to weddings.
I love weddings.
I feel
It's
like
just
I'd
so
start
much for
saving.
travel though
Yeah.
when it's not local.
Well, that's true. I'm gonna have a destination wedding, so you better start saving. Just FYI,
Okay.
we're going to Paris.
What other
Maybe.
relocation questions? I feel like I could answer some more.
I mean, I think you said okay. So you said we're talking about. I'm more curious about like, do you set up the job first or do you just move? And then I don't know. The animal part I think is pretty interesting because you like. Where do you put them? Like, while you don't have a home, like you got to keep them with you. So like, I don't.
Oh man, when we moved from Seattle to Chicago, I've actually never been through Montana, and I moved from Denver to Seattle, Seattle to Chicago, and it's because we moved during the winter and the weather was too
God.
bad. So both times we came through Vegas.
Yes.
Like, Denver to Seattle was via Vegas, and Seattle to Chicago was via Vegas. So you can imagine the route. It was awful.
Oh yeah. Sounds horrible.
But we set up our truck so that we could pull our bed down and sleep in the back with our animals and not have to stay in a hotel every night. And we did it over a
that's
week.
crazy.
And we actually drove along almost all of Route 66.
Nice.
Which was pretty awesome, which we didn't realize until like day 7.
Do you guys explore as you're crossing these states? Like, do you stop and go, hey, let's look, check that
Let's
place
go see the
out?
world's biggest ball of yarn.
Yeah,
We do, but it's harder. It's hard with animals.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
can imagine.
I would imagine too.
Can't take them in everywhere. So
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, I just think that it's pretty cool that you're one of those people. You're just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try. Like,
Yeah. That go
I wouldn't be
kind of
surprised
lifestyle.
if tomorrow you're like, well, we're gonna move to Mexico. I'd be like, that makes sense.
we moved to Seattle, sight unseen. Neither of us had visited there.
That's crazy.
We also hated it.
But you
and left.
hated Seattle though. So visit
Word of
first.
advice: visit first. Make
Okay.
sure you like it.
Visit first.
What was your favorite thing about Chicago?
The energy of the city.
Energy of the city?
Yeah.
And you live like in the city. She
We
doesn't live
in
in the
city.
suburbs. She
Yeah, we
lives,
never
like,
live in the
city.
suburbs. I hate the suburbs.
Was it really windy there? Like, was it truly, like...
The Windy City.
Windy City. Fun fact, not because of the wind there, it's because the politicians talk a lot and they're very winded. That's something I learned on a tour there.
Oh,
So-
interesting.
But it is also very windy.
I want to know. I want to know why the bean is in the middle of the city. I heard that it was because it's a reflection of the city, like skyline. That's why they made it the shape of a bean. But when I was there and I asked people, they were like, "I don't know, it's just art."
I don't know, I just love it.
See?
It
That
looks
was, like, the very
And
Chicagoan
you
answer.
can see the skyline in it.
Chicago
so.
people are tough, man. They are. Second City is my favorite thing in Chicago. Super fun.
I have a YouTuber. He used to live there. His name is Wheezy Waiter. And, yeah. I loved watching his videos, especially when he would do like where he'd go out into Chicago.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, it looks so great.
Looks so nice with the peoples. Yeah.
Was it during the summer when the weather was nice?
No, winter. He loves winter.
Yeah, she's over
Which
here
I
like,
agree.
it's not cold in Chicago. I'm like, there's literally snow. Like, I don't understand how you're functioning, but
Let's see
okay.
here. What's current conditions in Chicago?
Oh, it just dumped a ton of snow, so it's probably pretty cold. It's
Yeah.
got to be probably like in the 20s.
She's like, it's not stay inside weather. Devin and I are like, it's definitely stay inside weather like year long. This is stay inside weather for us, and it's like 70 in Vegas.
Really?
60.
Oh, I hate this weather. It's 29 degrees right now in
It's
Chicago.
44 degrees. No, thank you. Not outside.
44? That's not bad.
It's
not
scheduled
bad.
to snow
That's
this
not bad
weekend.
at all.
It's cold. Okay, Bay. Okay.
That's fall weather.
I'm from the Bay. It's like, you know.
No,
yeah.
The Bay is 60 degrees year round.
I
I'm
know.
a Vegas baby.
Yeah, I live in a place where
Unless
the
you
winter
go like
goes
to San
negatives.
Francisco right on the ocean,
Then it's freezing.
then it's freezing.
Yeah.
It's freezing in the summer. It gets cold.
Okay, last question.
Yes.
If you could move anywhere, where's the place that you would go?
Anywhere outside of America. So, that,
Just out of, yeah.
Anywhere else but here.
Mars.
I've always wanted. So next up, I've always wanted to live internationally.
Okay.
We've talked about that, but
London?
it's really complicated. No, not London. Although
Yeah,
I guess
no?
I should live in a place where people speak English because I don't speak any other languages.
Yeah, that'd probably be helpful.
Yeah.
But somewhere that is expat friendly. So I don't know where that would be, but I guess I'll be on this podcast in 2 years and tell you where.
Where she's living.
Yeah.
There we
For
go.
sure.
Have to
That's
call
the
you
goal.
in.
2 years
Woo.
out of America.
Well, thanks for
Yeah.
coming and
Yeah.
chatting with
Is
us.
there anything else as you depart that you would want? That you think either our listeners would want to know or that you would want to tell?
Or shout out to anybody. Shout out to your cat.
Shout out to my cat.
Nola, the cat.
I would say if you are contemplating moving, do it. Like,
Right?
if there's no reason if there's nothing holding you back, do your research, and if it seems like it's a good fit, go for it.
Definitely.
Even though Seattle did not work out the way we expected it to,
Mhm.
we have zero regrets. It actually was a great jumpstart for my career in event planning. I got to work at Pike Place Market, which is an iconic venue, been around for over 100 years.
Yeah.
Do event planning there, and I got my job in tech, and I work from home now. So
And you said now you have like a love of coffee. A different love of coffee.
do you have a different
appreciation?
one? More appreciation of coffee.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rue, Nola, and Brandon.
Oh.
My family in Chicago. I
Rue's-
love them all.
Can you tell us one more time what they should do if they want to move somewhere?
Oh gosh. Go ahead, do it. Say it. Just do it.
Just go again.
Just say, just do it.
Just
say-
do it.
Do it!
They have.
Just do it! Don't
We need to
let
clip
your
that in.
dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
I like it.
All right.
All right, and that's going to wrap it up for us
Bring
for
it in,
this
Shia.
week. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations! 25 episodes
Well, actually,
of Will Podcast for Laughs.
When this airs, this will be officially February 1st, which means we'll be doing this for a month.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
We're in February.
Woo!
Oh,
We do it over.
Countdown to Valentine's Day.
Well, it's
Woo!
on a- over
Vee's
month.
favorite holiday, mostly because it's called V-Day, not because it's Valentine's Day. It's my favorite. All right, thanks, Laura. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate
You
having
the
me on.
best.
And check out our podcast at www.willpodcastforlaughs or www.twitchtv.willpodcastforlaughs or WPFL, all caps, under
We'll get it eventually.
lowercase official at the beginning. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, and
Nailed
and everybody in Branson.
Do it! Just
People in
do
Branson.
it!
What are you telling people in Branson to move?
No, I want their dreams to come true.
Okay.
Because everybody in Branson are like, yesterday, I'm going to do it. I said I was going to do it tomorrow. No, Branson! Branson, Missouri! Just do it!
Oh my gosh, you and your shy impression. It's ridiculous. All right. Bye, guys. We'll talk to you later. If you go to Chicago, go find Laura.